calzones. Yeah, I'm going to try them. Never made them. It'll be a first. You're going to need a baking sheet, or they'll say a cookie sheet, but I'm using a baking sheet that has a very sharp edging on it, rim. All right, we are also going to be using biscuit mix. I made this already right here, so I've already made mine. I think this one is, this is a regular one. Okay. I normally make a light whole wheat one, but that's okay. First thing we're going to do is you're going to need, they're talking half a pound. Knowing me, I'm going to be using a pound because I'm making a meal out of this. This isn't a little snack on the side. I am going to use a whole pound of ground beef, but it has to be 80% lean, 20% fat. Now that's what they recommend for this recipe. And yes, we're also going to be using nutritional yeast large flakes. So we're going to be using this to make this more nutritious as well. We're just going to be doing it a little different. So you can see there are different ways of doing it. Now they say a cup of cheese. Yeah, you could, depends on how much cheese you want on yours. All right, I'm going to give you more of a do what you want with this. We'll deal with the basics and then we can pretty much go out in it. The recipe shows a pickle inside of this. I guess they wanted a pickle inside, but the recipe I have just wants yellow mustard and instant minced onion. Well, since my son did not tell me he used the last of my golden mustard, I'm going to use peach ale mustard, which is really good. And yes, I did can that. Now they want you to set your oven to 375. What? Doesn't he know it doesn't go in here? Oh, okay. Okay, we're getting the frying pan hot and we're going to put beef over it. I mostly call this chuck when it's 80. Hi, Siv, AJ. Good morning to everyone. Okay, I'm a little slow this morning. Just got up. Don't say much. Okay, let me get you over here so we can take care of this over here. Good morning, Chris. I am doing well, Chris. We're making cheeseburger calzones. Do you want to do this first or the other first? All right, they're stating over medium-high heat. We're going to sit there and put, remember, I'm making mine more meaty. Cheeseburger calzones. Matthew, it's getting warmer. It's not 20 below. Snoop, Mike, New Zealand. Very good. I have to pack lunches. That's why you see me cooking so early in the morning. And I don't cook at 3 a.m. Man, I get up at 4. And it's only 5:13. I was taking care of other business this morning first. So we're getting the frying pan hot. Michaela? Good morning. And good morning, Alexander and Matthew and Willie. Willie, these are packed lunches. My family leaves, so I have to get up early to make sure they have a packed lunch. That's why you see me cooking so early in the morning. Thank you. Now, because we're big eaters, I'm doubling up on the stuffing on this. I think I showed you how to make your own biscuit where it's more nutritious. And if you read the packages, I think King Arthur is the only one that does not have preservatives in it. The other one does. We only have two. Once I saw the preservatives, I threw that one back on the counter. But I checked out King Arthur, and King Arthur does not have preservatives. But I like making my own biscuit because I can make the light whole wheat, or I can make the regular, or I can use other flours and mix it up. But do not mix 100% whole wheat. It's too heavy. It doesn't work. It's just way too much. Linda, we're making cheeseburger quiches this morning. Joan, Commander, Fun, good morning all of you. Salvador. We have to drain the meat right now. Good morning, Pretty Cat, Catherine, JR, J-Rock, Salvador, cheeseburger calzones. I have never made this recipe before. All right. we're done cooking this, we're going to add stuff to this. I'm doubling the filling, so remember that. Well, I don't know if I have 2 teaspoons of minced onion. So it's going to be tight. I still have a little. You need 2 teaspoons. They say yellow mustard because that's what most people use, but I'm using peach ale mustard. By the way, this mustard is very good. And I don't think you can buy it. I'm not sure about that, so I'm not going to say yay or nay. And 6 tablespoons of ketchup. Now, I read what was in this one. This has tomato concentrate, organic sugar, organic distilled vinegar, salt, garlic, onion powder, and organic spices. So I know what's in this one that I bought. And this is from Wholesome Pantry. You're also going to need cheddar cheese. They say low fat, so whoever did this definitely is watching their fat content. Me, no, I'm just going to use regular cheddar cheese. Now this little bit that you see here is 125 grams protein right here in this pan. Hi, Judy. Rock, good morning. No, this recipe says cheddar cheese. But you know, we could sit there and take this and make a pizza calzone, in other words, the meat sauce with lasagna or that, and throw it in. I think I'm going to take out chicken gizzards and I'm going to make minced meat pie. Because a lot of people don't know that minced meat pie was created for the organ meats to store those. So they would put liver in it, the gizzards, the heart, whatever they could. Today, minced meat is mostly just sugar instead of the way it's supposed to be, or people will put beef in it. But I'm going to sit there and make, I think, minced meat pies as little desserts, you know, because they're sweet. And we can just snack on them, and at the same time, we'll be getting that protein. I'm just mixing this thoroughly up first. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Whoa! That's hot. Okay, you need a half a cup of boiling water. So I'm going to get this burner on. Get the water boiling. Get this out of my way. Don't worry, I'm going to be moving. Get this out of my way as well. Yeah, I know it's crowded here. It's always crowded where I work. I would like a big area to work. But I'm not granted that, so I have to make do with what I have. Okay. All right, they want 2 cups of biscuit mix. Don't worry, it'll go on the... See, I only make the biscuit mix as I need it, which makes it easy for me. Jim, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't serve beer with this. I would think more of a juice or a soda. Ginger beer, I would like very much with this. Like I said, I don't have a lot of carbonated sodas because it interferes, but I think it would go very nice with this. I don't see a beer with this. According to Flint, according to how you cook it, I'm going to cook it and grind it up and then mix it with the mincemeat so you won't know or taste it. But if you cook it right, it actually has no flavor when you cook it. But raw, it stinks to high heaven. But once you cook it, there's no flavor to it. Now, see, liver doesn't have a real smell to it. It's sort of mild. But when you cook it, liver has a much stronger flavor, which is interesting because the gizzards, you can have that strong smell raw, but once you cook it, it's died down, whereas the liver, it's died down, but when you cook it, the flavor is stronger. It's backwards. But I wanted to use gizzards differently, if there was a way of doing it differently. Did I put those in? Yeah, oh shoot. I know you're boiling. I'm not ready for you. Okay. I'm also going to add, yes I do, J-Rock, the clan. Well, I am going to add 1 tablespoon of this large flake nutritional yeast. You can find it in a health food store, or you can find it in a health food aisle if you have it. Good morning, Cameron. That's what I plan to make. I haven't made the mincemeat pies yet, but I'm adding that into the bowl here. I'm going to mix this up and then we'll get this going. Okay, well, everybody's a little different. We have to sort of accept it, you know. Now, when you use biscuit, you have to use it throughout the whole thing. You can't sit there and put a different flour with it. Now, you're going to see some yellow flakes in this. Don't worry about it. I need a fork. I'm not sticking my hand in that. I doubt if you've evaporated that much. You want me to pour this in here? Work it till there's goes into a batter, okay. So he wants to keep mixing this. Oh, ginger. Oh, you'd love ginger beer then if you love ginger ale. Thank you, Kay. Okay. Keep mixing till this forms into a dough. I might have to add more. It doesn't look like it wants to come into a dough. Well, they say keep working it till it comes into a dough. You want me to do what with this? Just about got it all worked in. You're going to have an ungreased cookie sheet or baking sheet. Did I get the eggs out? No, that's so typical of me. We're going to make 5 of these, so we're going to have to divide this up. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This only makes 5. I wanted to make just 3, but that's not going to stick. It shouldn't stick. Now you said, sometimes I disagree with these recipes. Now you know I'm going to do that if I don't think this is working out. What am I going to serve with this? I have made cottage cheese just recently, so I have some canned fruit, pineapple, and what else do I have canned? No, I have canned pineapple. I think I have pears and stuff like that, so I'm going to add that in. As you can see, these are not round. But you can come closer to round as you do it. You want them 6 inches. This is not going to be 1/4 of an inch thick. Yeah, you still wanted another inch. This is going to be very, very thin. You know, it's funny. They're cutting the portions down for people, right? And people are getting larger. We ate more growing up, and we stayed small. So what would you think is the cause of that? Think about it. That's all the sugar they're putting in. Corn syrup in the food. That's why your cookies are hard when you buy cookies. They're hard. They're not moist like homemade. You're going to need water and a pastry brush because we're going to have to wet the edges on this. And I'm going to need a spoon to put this in. Well, let me get some food on this. Okay, got that on. Okay, we're going to fold this over and hope I can get this in here. Wetting the edges gives you the binding that you need. Okay, let's see if I can fold it. If I can't, well, that'll be something else. Okay. I can almost hear you say, she's not real good at this. No, I'm not. But practice makes perfect. I always tell you that. Now they want me to crimp this. Where did I put that fork? It's wet. I have to dry it or it's going to stick. Okay. Yes, I'm going to make mine bigger than theirs. I always do. Because we enjoy eating. If you don't, that's okay. Go right ahead and knock yourself out. Yeah. Now they say you can pack these out or you can roll them out. Well, if you only like a little and you like eating starch, I'm notorious for overpacking because we like to eat. And if it spills, that's all right. See, a lot of these recipes that tell you to use a little, what you find out is you're eating more starch than you are meat. It was very good. We demolished it. My younger son went for 3 helpings, and my older son had 2.5. I only think I have a half a cup of it left. Yeah, well, these are going to be baked. Well, that one's a packed one. I might. Have any of you ever made this dish? Oh, sure. Mushrooms are excellent. I'm sure you can use a different kind of meat and all. I mean, get creative. I'm always encouraging you guys to sit there and get creative about it. Gee, I know nobody's political. That's so nice this morning. Hi, J-Rock. Yeah, I agree, Pretty. That would be very good. Oh, okay. JR, everybody does it a little different. I mean, this cookbook came in by accident. I didn't order it, and I don't know how it came to me, but somebody actually got me this cookbook, and I said, okay. I could not tell you who gave it to me. I have no idea. I know, you want less. I want less, but I like a lot on mine. Okay. That'll probably pack better. Because the first one's a big packed one. Look at that. You know? Well, what the heck. You know, it's funny, when I start cooking, I start thinking of big band music. Very rarely do I think of another one. So it seems a lot of you already make these. Now I only put 2 spoons in this one this time. And as you can see, it's still going to be packed tight. The last one had 3, so I'll put 2 in this one. And I think they'll be nice today for dinner. Well, my edges aren't the greatest, but well, that one's as big as the other one. Well, what the heck. We'll just keep on going. Jamaicans call them beef patties. Oh yeah, I have a Jamaican with hot pepper in it. Oh, I like buying those, and I wanted to learn to make them. Thank you, Pam. IR. Jock. The David. Okay. Oh, they do, but when I'm sick, I mess up every time because I can't smell and I can't taste. I did duck breast with something and I was sick. Couldn't taste or smell or anything. My son said it was so bad, Mommy, I threw it out. I said, okay, well, you knew I was sick. He said, yeah, I did. When I'm sick, I can't taste, I can't smell, and everything practically goes out the door. And the wind was so cold, though I covered and dressed properly for that storm that we had, I ended up with an earache, something I haven't had in years. But I just left it. I took a manganese which takes the fluid out from behind your ear. And it went away, but that weather was so bad. You're not going to roll out straight, are you? You can give me a problem. I'll fix you. I'll roll you in a different direction. Just about. That is not a fourth. They said it was going to be a fourth of an inch. It's not. JR, my husband, is deceased. Well, I'm making a bedspread right now. I'm crocheting it, and it's three-dimensional. It's rose motif, and I'm only a third through that. I love to sew. It's difficult because I couldn't find material that didn't have elastic in it, and I don't like elastic in my material because the clothes don't last. So I do sew. I just found a place that has material without elastic, which I'm really happy about. I like to knit. The sweater you saw me in was one that I had knitted. I embroider. I'm not good at it. I've done some tapestry, which is actually half of a cross stitch. But crafting I like. I'm not real good with flower arrangements and things like that, artificial. I'm not good at that. My mother did not think that that was important for me to learn. But she made sure that I learned how to knit, crochet, and sew. Then I went further and learned about tapestry. Knotting is not one of my fortes either. I love plants, but my gardens suck. You know, but I work at it. I did not know that plants have certain plants they like being with and they don't like other plants. That was a lesson I had to learn recently, which I did not know. I thought they got along. I said, you're acting like human beings, not getting along. Why are you doing this to me? I love things like that. Maybe it's silly, but it's what I do. And they're still fat. Okay, well, you're going to have to press down here. I did wet you there. Well, if you leak, you leak. There's nothing I can do about it. Does that answer your question of things that I like? You have to sear it. When you get a duck breast, what you have to do is you diamond the fat side. Don't cut into the meat. Just cut the fat. And what you do is get a hot skillet. No, you cannot use a nose stick for this. You have to use a regular skillet. You get it really, really hot. I mean, really, really hot. You're not putting anything in there. And then what you do with that duck is you sit there and you lay fat side down and let it cook like that. It'll cook the fat out of it completely when you've cooked one side, and you'll see how the fat is. It's charcoaled and all, and you'll see all the fat come out. Turn it over, do the other side, and then that's how you serve it. Sprinkle it with salt and pepper before you cook it. It'll help draw the fat out. Matter of fact, I have, when you order breast of duck, be aware they take the whole duck breast, both sides, and it's one piece, and you cut it down the middle to separate each side. Well, I'm going to have ground meat left over, but that's all right. I can always make more or put it over rice. I could also make a sloppy joe out of it. I do have English muffins, so the meat won't go anywhere. I know you're probably saying, where did she get all these songs? Hey, it was before my time, but I love the big band from World War II. In the evening, I love harpsichord music. Oh my God, I just love the harpsichord music. Yeah, that can make a nice sloppy joe. On an toasted English muffin, a sloppy joe. You'd have to admit that would be interesting. See, a lot of people in school, they learn war history. Clothing has a history. Cooking has a history. Toys even have a history, believe it or not. You learn a lot when you learn all the different kinds of history, but in school they teach you war history, you know, but there's all kinds of history, even tool history. You can see how the tools have been developed through time. This is why I get really old cookbooks as well as new ones. See how we've built up on them and everything else? It's a history. And you get a picture when you look through all those histories. You get a history of how life was. And making clothes was interesting, how they used to do that. Okay. Oh, listen, I go all directions, all right? Commander. Okay, that's 4. Well, I don't know how these are going to come out. I don't know if they're going to leak or not. They might, you know. And see, when you make your own biscuit, you end up with so little left. The only thing is it has to go in the refrigerator because you do have oil in it. That's it, Sandra spilled the water everywhere. Oh, that's all right. I'll change it today. See, that's why my sons never know what's going to go on. There's different ways you can do things. Like if people go to buy hamburgers, they'll make sure they have lettuce, tomato, onion. In the South, they'll have dill pickles because they're going to put pickles on theirs. Or a cheese, and you make it the same way instead of different ways. My mother was like that. Follow the recipe. And I sit there and say, what can I do to make this more nutritious? That's my whole thing, is to make something more nutritious. That's my whole goal. That's why I added the flakes into this. I wanted to make sure that we got our B vitamins. Yeah, that's true. You ain't a cooking unless you got some flour on you. That's why the aprons, and we still get dirty. Could you imagine the aprons that just went around the waist here and there wasn't anything up here? She must have been loaded with flour on top. Yeah, I'm going to make a sloppy joe off an English muffin. Toast it, yeah. Oh, come on, stay put in one area, okay? So I'm using, actually, the cottage cheese has added protein to the meal, and instead of just serving pickles and not getting enough fruit or vegetables, I'm going to put mix the cottage cheese with the fruit juice, and then put the fruit on top of it. So that'll be in a different container. Like I told you, you can pack all sorts of lunches. If there's a microwave, and it's also a lot cheaper, believe it or not. But it takes time, and I always say, if you have time to put your makeup on, you have time to cook. You know, I think that's why women sit there and they get on the ferry and they're going to work and they're putting their makeup on. But they look horrible until they put everything on. You can see they just got up and everything else. I don't know if these are going to leak or not, because I don't like this crust as much as I should. So I usually use a different one. But this one's a little on the dry side, so I'm a bit concerned that it might just cut and the meat spill out. You know, I did press you quite hard. Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? We need an egg and sesame seeds. Beat your egg thoroughly. Every time I try to make meat pies, I never know if they're going to leak or not. I have to be honest with you. I never, ever know. Don't forget, this afternoon I'm making a spice cake, and it's under Come Cook With Me. Make sure you take all your ingredients out and they're room temperature. That's something I have to do very shortly to make sure that it will cook in the proper time. If you put cold things in, it takes longer, and sometimes your crust can burn. A lesson I learned the hard way, not listening to my mother. Uh, Okay. Put sesame seeds on them. That's what they want. And remember, seeds are good for you. Have 2 chemicals that fight cancer. Okay. We are going to cook these 20 minutes. Okay, that'll be 6:20. I have 20 minutes. I don't need these eggs anymore. Egg is a binder. Try milk. Yeah, try it and see if it works. I don't know. I know egg is a binder. So it sort of holds the stuff on, but milk, if you wet it with milk, it should work. Because once the dough, you've got it wet and you put those sesame seeds on, they're going to stick. Okay? V4J. The Davlin. No, the recipe said that these are calzones. Cheeseburger calzones. Just 5. Fret. Terry. Okay. Okay. And thank you for I don't know what these things are. Good morning, Isaiah. I think they're diamonds, gems, or something. Thank you. I see I've got some, so I'm just saying thank you. I don't know who gave them. I made just 5. I didn't make a double batch of biscuit mix. I only made 1 batch. So I'd have to make another batch of biscuit. Oh, okay. Thank you. Good morning, Isaiah. Are any of you going to come join me at 2 o'clock this afternoon? Just cleaning up my mess now. Well, those are cooking. Hi, fun. Okay, let me know how it comes out. But it should work with the milk. See what I mean? So many people are allergic to food. It wasn't that way before. What time you go back? Oh, those will be done in 20 minutes. Okay, Terry. Remember, I doubled the stuffing. Just cut it in half. I usually fall asleep between 5 and 6 in the evening. Sometimes I stay up later, but by then I'm usually exhausted. Or whatever that means, I don't know. I think they should make a dictionary on computer language. Translate for people like me. So I'm an early bird. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But remember, I've always slept about 9, 10 hours all the time. It's very, very normal for me. 8 hours, I can't. Even when I was little, I slept. My mother was shocked at the amount of sleeping that I do. But I function on it. My friends get frustrated with me and they said, look, I said, look, I'm tired, you know. Some nights I only get 8 hours sleep once in a while, but I'm exhausted the next day. Well, you can. If you wish to sleep so little, you burn yourself out, go ahead. You know. Dirty motor? What do you mean? What is a goyim? Oh, so you're afraid you're going to run out of life before it's time. Well, I guess you're going to die young, hoodie. I don't know the song. I don't know anything. I live in the metropolitan area on the outskirts of New York City. Matter of fact, I have a wild reservoir about 3 blocks from me. I don't know the song or anything else. Dirty motor oil. You have to explain more of this to me. I don't know what they say to you or what the song even means. So how could I even give you something? Okay, Big. Edwin Cattle. Yeah, I think you're 4 hours behind me, so that would be 10 o'clock in the morning. Or 3, let's see, we have Eastern, Central, Mountain, West Coast, right? So that's 4-hour difference. So I don't know what that song is or what it means or anything, so I couldn't answer that question because I just don't know. But as my mother used to say, remember, don't yell at me, Dirty Motor Oil. I don't even know if my sons even listen to that song. And I don't listen to a lot of music anymore because I have it blaring with the radios of the cars, or people walking with a boombox, or I've got neighbors who like to blare the radio outside and go in the house to entertain. And then I have other people who party and get drunk and they go in the house and sleep and leave their blaring music on outside. California specific, okay. G-O, be right. Where's my dictionary? Oh God, I got my dictionary packed up. Go, it's G-O-Y-E-M. I'll look. Goyim, goyim. Now I have to look it up. I don't know what it means. This goes in the refrigerator. I'm gonna take this out. We used to have, when we came out of yeah, you're about an hour and a half behind me. Okay. What do you mean higher, like drinking it? Well, if you drink that, you're going to kill yourself. Okay. That and that. Okay. Yeah. Commander, yeah, it is gross. You can't stop people, because I remember at luncheon we used to have this set of boys that would sit out of the luncheon room. They ate in a hurry and they'd get out there, and when us young ladies were walking by to get down the hall to get outside, they would whistle a tune that made us so angry. If we walked slow or we walked fast, they kept pace with us, and it was the most annoying thing. Well, it depends if you're young, but I don't appreciate it. I grew up in a quiet neighborhood. And they used to annoy us. Debbie and I would walk by them. Oh, God. And that's what they did. All the time. If you walk fast, they picked up the pace. If you walk slow, they drug it out. And it was like very, very annoying. So there's always somebody who's going to do something. Yeah, they were. But that's children and young teenagers trying to outdo each other, you know, and it doesn't always work. It is, Olivia. No. No, we do not. I go to my girlfriend's if she has a party. My sons do not talk to people in the neighborhood. And they come because their friends are not in this neighborhood. Yes, Penny, they can be. Yeah, you're right, AJ, it was, and it was very annoying. And they just happened to be Spanish, and they would do it not to the Spanish girls or the blacks. They only did it to the white. And it used to be so irritating. It really, really was. I don't think they had anything better to do. I don't even know if they even got out of high school. Well, they look like they're sticking together. So that was the tune I had to walk, and that was the only door to get out of the luncheon room, which was really frustrating. Okay, Penny. Yeah, I learned as I got older. Well, I learned in school, basically, there were groups. Everybody had their little clique. I didn't really belong to a clique. Oh, okay, Randy. Yeah, mine's falling apart, but it's okay. I still use it. Everybody had a clique. So if you weren't part of a clique, you couldn't be a cheerleader. If you weren't part of a group, you couldn't become a football player. If you weren't part of a group, it was always the cliques, and they were the homecoming queen and king and stuff like that. They didn't take people that didn't. So I was more of an isolated person. I usually just had one friend at a time. Okay. Snoop, you don't have to see every inch of my home, okay? I'm going to warn you right now. You don't have to see my yard. You don't have to see the rest of the house or anything else. This is a cooking channel. This is not, come into my house and take a look at everything I have. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But we saw all the old black and white films too, you know. Remember when if you're of my age or older, remember when the television got turned off at midnight and then you got a Pledge of Allegiance in the morning when it came on, I think at 6 in the morning, if I remember correctly. And after they did that, the first things that you would hear about were the futures, because I was in cattle country. No, I did not do spring cleaning this year. I was thinking about it, and I said, I don't want to do it. I do my spring cleaning in the winter. While you are celebrating holidays of Halloween, I'm spring cleaning the house and getting it ready for winter. Joseph, good morning. I know what you mean, but that's how our television was. So, we didn't even start school without a Pledge of Allegiance, and we said a prayer, so we always brought the country and God into, and this is how I grew up. I didn't see that. I went to Coco. Remember Coco? He came out of the well and played around, and then when the program was over, Coco went back into the well. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember the preacher talking, but I remember we got the futures. And then after the futures would come the cartoons, and we'd be up by them because my father had an early, he wanted the house up early. He was up at 4. My mother was up. He would make the coffee. I caught him sometimes and pretended I was asleep. And he would take care of himself. And then he'd get my mother up by 5. By 5:30 he was eating. He was out of the house by 6 or 6:30. And we were definitely up right after he left because he did not want to see us in the morning. So, you know, we knew that we were not to get out of bed. Or if we were awake, we just stayed there. And we were in bed by 8 o'clock at night too. But once in a while, we would get to stay up to when the television came off. And that was a big thing to watch it go, buzz, you see the colors and it goes, and it just ended. Yep. And he did. And he'd come in, and my mother and him would start fighting. And sometimes we had to eat out because my mother threw the food at my father or over his head. I told you, my mother was a tyrant. If a police officer stopped her, I'm sure she would punch him out. She ran the house like an iron thumb. Good morning, Moon. Manuel, AJ. Yeah, I didn't know it was broadcast TV. I just knew it like that. I remember seeing Julia Child when she started her program. Yeah, she was passionate with a belt. I saw her hit my father. And I only came to get my quarter because I had done my chores for the week. So I went to the store and they weren't up front. And I said, there's somebody supposed to be up front. Daddy told me because register's there, you should be up front. And I went all the way down the hall and opened up to the back. And I saw my mother punching my father. And they turned around, they saw me, they straightened up. My mother went to the bathroom, put her makeup on and all. My father straightened his hair and said, what are you doing here? I said, Mommy told me to come here when I finished my chores. I could have a quarter and I could go to the movies. Passionate, yeah, with a belt. I could say that. We only have a minute, so I'm going to be watching over here, back and forth. No, AJ, never heard of him. I might know them by another name. You know, some of these things where I grew up are different names from what somebody else knows. No, Joan, I grew up in the 50s and 60s. Yes. Manuel, you're right. Cooked. Hi, Patrick. And Louisiana, you should be. Yeah, you're up. 5 something, you're getting ready to either have breakfast, coffee, or getting ready to work. Okay, let's see how these things turned out. Well, one leaked some cheese. Here they are. We did it. Only one leaked some cheese, and that's all. So they'll be very nice. And what else do I have to do today? Oh, I have to get that spread ready for the hamburgers. Yes, I did, and a switch. Olivia. Okay. I'm not going to try them now. I'm not hungry. I'm really not hungry this morning at all. I thought I would be because I haven't eaten since yesterday at 10 a.m., but I'm not hungry. So I'm not going to. I'm not going to try any of these. I'm going to put them on a plate. I know I'm going to have one, and my sons will each have 2, and I want to get that cottage cheese. Oh yeah, that's going to be a cottage cheese for us. So let me get these on a plate. Well, I should get them on a rack first and let them cool. But they turned out better than I thought. And I got to pack a little extra meat than what they wanted me to. Get them up and off of this. And let them cool completely so I can pack them. So you should be able to do this. And I'm not good at pies. At least these kind. So this was nice that it came out. So that's it. Yes, I do. I just had yogurt with some apple butter that I made. Olivia, I don't give a rat's posterior, if you know what that is, about what you say. This government does not tell me. You look at the spoiled brats and the mouth that they have on them, not respecting their parents, and then BCW tells these children to threaten your parents if your parents don't give you what you want. No, don't tell me. The Bible states point blank, spare the rod, you spoil the child, and you got a problem. And look at what we've got in this country now. So don't give me your shit. Point blank. Hi, Patrick. I don't like people telling me how I raised my children with my husband. I saw an old woman try to tell me that I couldn't punish my child. I said, I can't punish him. I took a switch and I said, do you want me to put it on you? She took off running. I didn't think that old lady could run. It's nobody's business. The government has no right to be involved into the family business or anything else. All right? So you couldn't say to me about that. I've already seen the crap that we have as young people, you know? So I'm going to follow my God, His rules. You like it or not, I don't care. The government does not rule me, does not tell me what to do with my life. I am an American. No, Olivia, why don't you just leave? Nobody wants to hear from you. What do you want me to say? Hi? No, she's just another troll trying to tell people what to do. She's probably never had a belt on her backside to correct her. Good riddance, idiot. See, you can always tell. Oh, you work the night crew, okay. Yes, she is. She's trying to tell God that God doesn't know how to raise children. I'd like to see her on Judgment Day tell God, all these people are wrong for the way they raise their children. That would be quite interesting. Yeah, you see the people who say bye keep on coming back with more comments? They're just looking for trouble. They want to fight. She probably has purple hair, you know, and paints every nail a different color, and probably wears the lipstick wrong and does everything her way and probably spreads her legs more times than not. And if she has children, they probably all have a different father. But I was not raised like that. I was not. So let's see. All right, Terry, listen, you get some sleep, all right? I'm not changing for anybody like that. Listen. Yeah, that's exactly what the Bible states. And he says, use the rod for correction. So, listen. To all of you except Olivia, I'm going to say bye. I want you to have a great day. I will. So listen, all of you take care except for Olivia. May she have a rotten day today since she's trying to override God. I hope you really do have a good day today. Take care, and I'll see you, except for Olivia, we don't want to see you. Come cook with me. We'll be making a Spanish bar cake. Most people buy it in the store, but we'll make it. Okay? Make sure you get your ingredients out this morning, so when we go to make it, they're at room temperature, so the cake will cook in the appropriate time. Okay? All right, Patrick, you go to bed, all right? Take care for now. See you at 2.